Hey guys, how's it going?
Yeah, g'day guys. Thanks for jumping on. Hey, BPA, you're back. How does it feel to have once again put on the gold jersey?
Mate, it felt incredible, man. Yeah, it was actually really exciting. Leading into the week, I was very excited. It's been a while since I played my last game, so I was just trying to focus on my role more than actually focus on the excitement around it. But I know that I was very stoked to be out there.
Is there anything that caught you by surprise? It was about 3 years between caps.
Yeah, it's about that. It's about that long. Yeah.
So, was there anything that surprised you
Sorry.
about, the international
Sorry.
game from then to now?
Yeah, man, it was. I think it was the exact same. Not exact same, but it was very similar feel. Um, yeah, as opposed to my last game, definitely I did feel a lot of the pressure. Try to, yeah, as I said, just focus on my role and trying to get back out there and just do what I can to try and represent the jersey the best that I can. But it was a very, very similar feel around it. Just a couple different faces around, to be honest. But it was good to be a part of it.
The wave of momentum that you guys managed to get off the bench, the introduction of yourself and Lucan, how did you feel like muscling up against them? And do you think you can carry that same momentum into this Wellington test?
Yeah, definitely. Well, we knew that the All Blacks are an 80-minute team, just like any other team, and for us it was just bringing energy and physicality essentially off the bench, and I think that's the important role of the bench, or as they call it, finishers, and that's essentially what we wanted to do as a bench, to get on the field and bring that, and that was our goal. Obviously, we fell short in the end. But carrying that momentum into this game in Wellington is really important. It doesn't matter whether it's you're the bench or the starters. I think that's the key role now, is carrying that momentum of that second half essentially into the start, and then carrying that through for the rest of the game this week coming.
And I'll just ask this one before allowing the others to jump in. If I can get you both to respond to it, but what's been the feeling like in camp, knowing that it was an amazing comeback, but you've just fallen short, and out of that, how does the review look like on a Monday when you guys are analysing it and running through it all? Is it a positive one, or is it like, what's it like?
Yeah. First of all, obviously, a feeling of disappointment, a feeling of we've probably been in this position before where we were almost good enough, and there's an element of frustration to that. But at the same time, the review was a mixture, because we had to address what happened in that first half, and we also had to address what really worked for us in that second half. So. We've wrapped up the review now, and our minds on the job for Saturday night.
Yeah, same with the forwards. Like there was a lot of good things we did, but then there was a lot of times where we missed the mark. And just like Tate said, like, we're done with the whole almost. Like, we almost got there in the end, and we just want to kind of change that until we did it. We did a good. We finished the job. We got that dub. So yeah, as we said, just building into this week and carrying that momentum is important for us.
Brendan, hi, it's Mel from AAP. I just wondered, like, playing overseas, what do you feel like you've added to your game in the last couple of years? Do you feel like you're a better player?
Yeah, I think for myself personally, I feel a lot more confident around my role as a hooker. I went overseas and I learned different things, especially around set piece, that I definitely sharpened, I'd say, in different areas of that. But yeah, being over in France, it's a very rigorous. Yeah, it's a tough competition. It's long games. It's long season. Sorry, and it's physical games. So I'd like to say I've added that physicality aspect, both in defence and carry, and even getting over the ball. That's something that I wanted to bring on Saturday, and that's something that I worked on over there. So yeah, it's something that I'll be looking at, essentially bringing for the future games if I get that shot, and yeah, adding to the team.
And just to follow up, Tate, when you mentioned about the review, like, what sort of was the biggest takeaways, I suppose, out of that first half that you really need to improve on?
There's probably two, and probably the two key things was it just around a little bit off around our mindset at the start. So collisions, the physicality side, we let them dominate off our fundamental errors pretty much. So like loose ball carries, not chasing kicks, not competing. So that, and then in combination with that was the Kiwis are so good at finding weaknesses in your defence. So as soon as someone drops off, someone starts walking into place, slow to set. Guys like Damien McKenzie, Will Jordan, they'll find little chinks in the armour, and they did. So yeah, that's pretty much what we addressed, and yeah, that's what we'll be looking to seal up.
Despite them getting a win, they seem to cop as much criticism maybe as if they had a loss. So do you expect them to probably be a bit stung by that themselves?
I think they'll be disappointed with how certain elements of that second half went for them, but I think they'll be confident in knowing that they created a lot, they just didn't finish it. So for them it's a couple of passes that go to hand, and the scoreboard builds a little bit more, and we're under more pressure than we probably could have been. So I don't think they'll be reading too much about what's going on, but I know that they'll certainly want to finish their last home game of the year in a good fashion, because it's been a pretty tough couple of weeks for them, aside from their victory on the weekend.
Hey, just with the defence, it looks like, and correct me if I'm wrong, but you're trying to take a couple of steps and then just hold the space a little bit, and once or twice it did seem like that connection wasn't quite there. Are you able to just bring us into what that defensive system looks like, and does it change throughout the game at all a little bit with certain situations, or is everyone totally clear about 1 to 80 minutes what's happening?
Yeah, I'd say everyone's clear, but the separation we're getting at the moment is people are maybe seeing different pictures, and that comes from speed to set. I think, for us, we've got to make sure we're connected, like you said, for 80 minutes, and there's going to be times where we're not connected for whatever reason, and we scrambled really well on the weekend, but against a team like the All Blacks, they'll make you punish for the metres that you give them. I think the other thing we've got to do, we've got to recognise better when we got man on. At the moment we're giving them a little bit too much space, but everyone's clear on the plan, and we action that in the back end of the game in the last 40 minutes. But like I said at the start, we've got to come out of the blocks a little bit better than what we did on the weekend. And
how nice is it being able to play behind a pack when you're bringing on Lucan and BPA, guys that are have played a fair bit of international rugby and often get over the game line, and what's it like as a halfback being able to play behind that?
Yeah, it's brilliant. It gives you opportunities. It puts you in positions when we're doing that to get inroads in games, and the impact of these guys, like you just mentioned, but also guys like Langy Gleeson, Dylan Peach, those guys added a huge amount to the game, and particularly when there's a little bit of fatigue and we're winning those areas, it's awesome to play off from a halfback's point of view. So we just need more of those patches.
So Brandon, just to bring you in, sorry if it's been asked before, the internet issues here, but can you just talk about just how you sort of got involved in the camp to start with, in terms of when did Joe reach out about coming in, and I guess sort of what in particular sort of drew you to the West?
Yeah, mate. Well, I always wanted to come back home after a bit of time overseas. Like, it was never just like when I went to France, I never wanted to go over for a long time. It was only just for a stint to experience. So as soon as Joe reached out to me, I kind of thought, yeah, 100%. Like, I'd love to come back, and it just so happened that the Force were keen to take me on and get me on board there, and I was excited. I was more excited to come back, to be honest, and I just wanted to come back home at the time. I really enjoyed my time overseas. It was great, and it was just good to be back in camp. Obviously speaking English in team meetings is very nice. So yeah, it's been really good being around the lads here. They're really really getting around me, or when I first joined, they were getting around me really well. So it's been a great environment since being back, mate.
And just being a Sydney boy, but having sort of that blood at home, seeing the crowd really get behind you in that last sort of 5-10 minutes, did you get a chance to soak up and just sort of realise how special it is that you sort of coming back so soon and experiencing a moment like that?
Oh, definitely, mate. Like it was amazing. Honestly, it was really cool to be there and to really hear the crowd roar and seeing just the Aussies get around us and us giving them a reason to get around us. Like I just hope that the performance that we put on as a team really made the Australian public or the Wallaby fans out there just proud of our efforts. You know, it was really special.
Just building off that, for either of you guys, just that feeling of sort of pride you could sense sort of in the segment after the game, but how much is it now sort of drilled in by Joe and the coaching staff that, you know, while yes, that last 15, 20 minutes was a great performance, it's not going to mean much if you don't back it up this weekend and, you know, take it to New Zealand in New Zealand.
Yeah, and 100%, and that's been our challenge as of late. You know, respect is earned, and if we come out like we did on the weekend and put in a decent performance for 40 minutes, and we don't back it up over here, which has probably been the trend for the last couple of years. You know, it doesn't mean anything. So for us, we've got to make sure that we compete and we put ourselves in positions to win those moments.
Are you guys a bit disappointed that it's not a 3-match series, this one, and that you know the Bledisloe is kind of effectively gone, but it's, you know, it was so close and just a second test now?
To be honest, I don't think that really changes much. Like, we've just got to win, you know? Like, 3 games, 2 games, our goal isn't to win 2 out of the 3, it's to win both. So I don't really think it changes much. For me personally, that is. We've just got to be, well, next year when the Bledisloe's up for grabs, we definitely just got to be better and more accurate and more consistent in that area. So, but we just got to focus on this week first, I guess. So, yeah.
You guys were in Wellington in 2020. I don't think either of you actually played that match, but it was a draw. And then the ABs have actually, like, their record there in the last 6-7 years isn't great. Obviously, Argentina just beat them there as well. Like, is there something about Wellington that you think that, you know, you guys can actually take them, and do you draw confidence from the fact that Argentina beat them there as well?
I don't think we can really look into records, because you look at our record in New Zealand. You know, we haven't won here for a very long time. So for us, we've got to focus on what we can control. And obviously, you know, there may be a record in Wellington, but like you said, the last time we played them here ended up being a draw. And that wasn't enough either. So, yeah, it's going to be an exciting night.
And what about Willow, the captain, in that last 20? Like, he obviously is playing really good footy at the moment. Is there something about him and his leadership that kind of, was there anything about that? Or was it just like the combination of things? Because clearly he's going well, but it was a dramatic turnaround, and Willow looked like he led from the front too.
Willow, that's a new one.
I was like, Willow, who the heck is Willow?
Yeah, Wills is he's been awesome since he's taken the armbed, and I think he's just stuck to what he's good at, and that's playing footy. You know, he doesn't do a hell of a lot of speaking. He leaves that to the senior boys around him. But the boys respect him for how he plays in that gold jersey, and you know, he's doing awesome at the moment. So I think something I'm really proud of. I've played a lot of footy with Wills, and his consistency lately has been incredible. So again, we're going to need him and 23 other men, or 22 other men including him, to put in a huge shift on Saturday night.
Did you catch the Springboks Pumas game? And I wonder what you made of the result.
We were watching it in the lounge, on the way to Wellington. Yeah, huge result. Fantastic result for the Argentinian camp. But yeah, apart from that, I haven't actually looked at the highlights or anything like that. We just caught the back end of the game and saw the score.
Yeah, no,
You got to sit in business class on the way over, didn't you share the plane with the All Blacks?
Yeah, I think Marty was in business class.
Marty was in business class. Tomo. No. No, it was yeah. Sorry, what?
Yeah, what was that like? What was that like? You know, often you're not going to be sharing planes. Was there a bit of banter, or was it pretty quiet? You keep yourselves. What's it like?
I was at the back near the toilet, so I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you, mate.
Yeah, I was just staying in my little section at the back, and it was all the Wallaby, it was all of us Aussies at the back. So we just kind of stuck to our little bubble there. Didn't really chat with any. Or I didn't.
I think Slip was sitting next to Sam Cane, so that's about the closest we got. Everyone else was split up. So you'll have to ask him, mate.